Thank you guys for sticking around with me for the first part of the podcast, the sports oriented world. And I'm going to continue the part two of this podcast episode where it's focused mainly African club football. And on this second part, I'm going to be talking about the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup seasons, which will officially begin as competitions proper, starting tomorrow all the way till Sunday. So stick around and let's hear from me, or if you are watching, then just continue sticking your eyes onto the screen and just watch what I have to say concerning these two seasons. As you can remember very well, when the group stage draws for both the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup was done last year or last month, imagine both draws were done by Pitso Mosimane, the coach of Al Ali, and guess what? When he was doing the group stage draw for the CAF Champions League, for example, where his team Al Ali was put in a group of death. If you look at it, which I'll explain further, which teams are with Al Ali, then I think he'll be scratching his head in spirit form that, oh my goodness, how did my team end up in that group? So, and for me, in my opinion, he's the best coach from Sub-Saharan Africa. And just the other day, when Al Ali reached the semi-finals only to lose to Palmeiras. I mean, he spoke a lot and was very vocal about Africa being belittled by European clubs, South American clubs, and Asian clubs in terms of their representation in the FIFA Club World Cup, and at the same time, in terms of opportunities abroad, or even things related to African football. So he was really vocal about it. But despite the 2-0 loss to Palmeiras a few days ago, now who are playing in the third place, fourth place match, against Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia. I think he has done a lot for Al Ali within a very short time. But as African football fans, for what he has done during his days at the PSL, the Premier Soccer League in South Africa, where he has coached SuperSport United and the Mamelodi Sundowns. I mean, he has done a lot, and I'm sure he should be the greatest coach in the league's history. And now going into the north, I think he's been vocal about it ever since he stepped into Cairo, and I pray and hope that he continues with that spirit. And sooner or later, who knows, he could coach a Big Five European League club where it will lead him to. So anything can happen depending on who is watching him and who is likely to pick him out of there and bringing him to Europe. But so far right now, he has really impressed me and he has done splendid. And just want to give a special shout out to Pitso Mosimane. So of course, if you look at the CAF Champions League, it has 16 clubs, four groups having 4 teams each, and yeah, that's how it goes. The same way as the CAF Confederations Cup, which the draws again done by Pitso Mosimane. Same way, 16 clubs, 4 groups, 4 teams each. So let's get into it and let's see which teams are in which group and which tournament. So if you start with the CAF Champions League, like I said, 16 clubs, 4 groups, 4 teams each. So if you look at Group A, you have Al Hilal, you have Al Merrikh, both of them from Sudan. You have Al Hilal Al Merrikh of Sudan, if I've repeated myself wrong. And then go to Al Ali of Egypt and Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa. Then you go to Group B. It has Amazulu of South Africa, where it has ES Setif of Algeria, where it has Horoya of Guinea, and Raja Casablanca of Morocco, in no particular order. And then Group C, you got Siad Belouizdad of Algeria, and then you got Esperance de Tunis of Tunisia, then you got Etoile du Sahel of Tunisia, and of course Jwaneng Galaxy of Botswana. And then you go into Group D, last but not least, you got Zamalek of Egypt, you got Wydad Casablanca of Morocco, you got Sagrada Esperança of Angola, and lastly Petro de Luanda of Angola. So with that being said, if you look at it statistically, out of the 16 teams that are in the tournament, half or should I say 50%, or should I say 8 out of 16 are from North Africa. Look at that. 50% of that tournament are clubs from North Africa. You want me to break it down? Let me help you. Al Ali, Egypt. Esperance de Tunisia. Wydad Casablanca, Morocco. Raja Casablanca, Morocco. Zamalek, Egypt. Etoile du Sahel, Tunisia. Siad Belouizdad, Algeria. And ES Setif, Algeria. How many does it give you? 8 out of 16. And the other 8, or should I say the other 50%, are all from Sub-Saharan Africa. Now what does that tell you? If you can remember earlier in part 1 of the podcast, where I was talking about the African Super League, bias, politics, some sort of, then this is just another example to prove you right, or to prove critics wrong. So if you look at the other 8 in that tournament, you look at Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa, Horoya of Guinea, Al Hilal of Sudan, Petro de Luanda of Angola, you got Al Merrikh of Sudan, you got Amazulu of South Africa, you got Jwaneng Galaxy of Botswana, and then you got Sagrada Esperança of Angola. So those are 8 from Northern Africa, 4 countries, the other 8 from Sub-Saharan Africa, depending on which country is being represented there. Do you see the bias? Do you see a coincidence? Do you see a no-brainer? Let me know in the comment section of the platforms of your choice, either it is on video, either it is audio, or a podcast. Let me know in the comment section what you observe there. But anyway, let me go straight to the fixtures, the opening fixtures, which in my opinion I see it as interesting. Now if you look at Group A, there's supposed to be 2 matches happening this weekend, and only one is going to happen. Why? Because Al Ahly is in Group A, and Al Ahly is busy in Abu Dhabi participating in the Club World Cup. As I tell you now, they're just about to play the 3rd place / 4th place playoff match, which I think should happen either tomorrow or the day after, playing against Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia, where last night they lost by a goal to 0 to Chelsea. So that's how it is. But the only match happening in that group is a very spicy game. Mamelodi Sundowns playing at home to Al Hilal. So they are at home hosting Al Hilal. So it's going to be very interesting. Of course, if I predict how this match will go, I think it's going to be won by slimmest of margins, very slim margins, and maybe the least it could be a draw. So that's something worth watching wherever you are around Africa or in the diaspora. If you look at Group B, yeah, there are 2 matches happening, but I see this as a walkover in terms of how they play their brand of football. So you see ES Setif playing away to Horoya. If you look at that game, I think this should be a win for ES Setif, because they are way better than Horoya. Yes, Horoya may be emerging in the West, but ES Setif should take this one. And if you look at the other game, Raja Casablanca playing host to Amazulu, they're the ones hosting. So it's going to be Raja Casablanca versus Amazulu. This one, I see this one also as an easy win for Raja Casablanca. Amazulu are playing their debut appearance in the tournament, so I don't see them giving that much of the oomph to Raja Casablanca. So it should be an easy win for Raja Casablanca. If you look at Group C, I think a very good game to watch, very good game to listen to, and that's Etoile du Sahel, who are the host, and they're playing against Siad Belouizdad. So that should be a North African derby. And yeah, if you look at it, one from Tunisia, the other one from Algeria, they should be neighbors. So this should be a good rivalry to watch, especially those from the north and those who are in the African diaspora. I see this one as a draw. Again, they both have similar qualities, similar brands of football, but it's going to be won by slimmest of margins. But at least I can predict it's a draw. That's how I play. And then the other game in Group C, Esperance de Tunis are playing at home. They are hosting Jwaneng Galaxy of Botswana. I mean, this team from Botswana have come from far in terms of the qualifiers to reach there, but going to the Northern Africa region to play against Esperance, it's going to be a hard task for them. So I see this as an easy win. And then in Group D, I see there are two matches happening there, but I think should be easy wins. But let me just read down the fixtures. Wydad Casablanca are playing at home, and they are going to play against Sagrada Esperança of Angola. So I don't see them giving much fight when they go to the north, especially in Morocco. So it's going to be tiresome, especially the journey, but Wydad Casablanca should get an easy win there. Then if you look at the other game in Group D, Zamalek playing at home, or they are hosting Petro de Luanda. This one might be a bit interesting, but Zamalek should go away with the win because the caliber of players are there. The coach, world class, one of the best in Africa. But this should be an easy win for them. I don't see them struggling much. So that's how the CAF Champions League match day 1 looks like for you. The only game being pushed further is the game between Al Ahly playing against Al Merrikh in Cairo. It has been pushed all the way to next month because of Al Ahly's involvement in the FIFA Club World Cup. And then by the time they're coming back and this happens, I don't think it will be possible because they'll be tired and maybe they have to focus on domestic football. So that's why CAF had to push it further till next month. So one game in Group A, but for the rest of the groups, 2 matches. So that is 7 for this week. And then I'll go to the other side, the CAF Confederations Cup, which is the second division currently. That is if the African Super League is in and the CAF Confederations Cup gets relegated to the third division, just like you see in Europe. But anyway, let me read out to you the 16 teams that are in the 4 groups. Now in Group A, you got Al Ahly Tripoli of Libya, you got Zanaco of Zambia, you got CAFCL of Tunisia, and you got Pyramids of Egypt. That's Group A. Group B, you get Royal Leopards, who miraculously entered the group stages on away goals. They might have lost 2-1 away to Chase Kabylie of Algeria, but in the first leg, they won by a goal to nil at home. So they won on away goals rule, and they are in the group stages. So them being there first time, they are with Al Ittihad of Libya, they have JS Saoura of Algeria, and Orlando Pirates of South Africa. And then Group C, you have Al Masry of Egypt, Cotton Sport of Cameroon, TP Mazembe of DR Congo, and AS Oto of the Congo. And then Group D rather, you have Simba of Tanzania, ASEC Mimosas of Ivory Coast, RS Berkane of Morocco, and USGN of Niger. So that's how the CAF Confederations Cup looks like for you. And then if I look at the opening match day fixtures, if you look at Group A, 2 matches happening. All these, if you add it together, there are 8 matches. If you look at all the 4 groups, so 8 matches happening on one day, that is on 13th of February this weekend, that is on a Sunday. So if you look at Group A, I think the biggest game in that group, in that fixture, is Pyramids of Egypt playing host to Al Ahly Tripoli of Libya. Of course, this is a North African derby. Why? Because they are neighbors, country-wise. But this game is going to be very interesting. Yes, Pyramids are a better side than Al Ahly Tripoli, but anything can happen. I mean, you know, they are North African football play. So I think it's going to be won by slimmest of margins, but I'll give this one a draw to say the least, unless otherwise. But yeah, you see how that goes. And that again, CAFCL playing host to Zanaco. I see this game pretty much a good win for CAFCL because, of course, they are playing at home. Zanaco from Zambia have traveled all the way, and you all know the factors leading up to all this thing, issue of arriving at training late as a club, and then you are tired, there is no rest. So I see this one as a win for CAFCL. And then if you go to Group B, the fixtures happening there. Royal Leopards are hosting Al Ittihad of Libya. Never underestimate the underdogs, but I don't see them do that magic against Al Ittihad because Al Ittihad are more experienced in that tournament than them. So I think I'll give it a slim margin win for Al Ittihad if I was to predict. And that again, Orlando Pirates are hosting JS Saoura. How do I see this game? A bit difficult, but I see Jay Saura walking away with a slim margin win to be won by slimmest of margins, if you were to ask me. And we've got Group C, where the fixtures taking place this Sunday. Cotton Sport are hosting Al Masri of Egypt. So Cotton Sport is going to be playing in one of those stadiums that was used for AFCON. So we see how they play their first CAF Confederations Cup at the new stadium used for AFCON. So we see how that develops, but I don't see them beating Al Masri because they are more experienced and they have a better caliber than Cotton Sport. Then you look at the other one, I see this one as a derby. This is the Congo River Derby. Even though they're both not located exactly at Kinshasa or Brazzaville, but I see this as a Congo Derby because country-wise they're neighbors. So TP Mazembe of their Congo are the host, whereas AS Oto of their Congo are their away team. But this should be interesting. I mean, this is Congo Derby after all. They both speak French. They are both colonized by the same country, France or Belgium, whichever you look at it. But I see this game being very interesting, and I think it's going to be a draw. If you were to ask me, I think it's going to be determined by the few factors on the field of play, but it should be a draw in my opinion, to say the least. If you look at Group D, very interesting game happening this Sunday. Simba Sports Club of Tanzania hosting ASEC Mimosas of Ivory Coast. A good game, yes. Simba representing the East, ASEC Mimosas representing the West, but what do both of them have in common? They're both from Sub-Saharan Africa. So anything can happen in such type of games, in this kind of tournaments, and we see how that goes. But it should be a draw. I don't know why I'm saying all these big games involving countries from the same region or from the same country deserve a draw, because that's the least I expect. But yeah, anything can happen in the game. And last but not least, RS Berkane are going to play host to USGN of Niger. Like I said again, nothing much for USGN to prove. I don't think they are that established region wise in the west or central, but yeah, as a club from Niger they should be the best. But going to Morocco, I don't think they'll give much input, so this should be an easy win for RS Berkane. Now, just to give a bit of facts, out of the 16 teams that are playing the CAF Confederations Cup, 7 are from the north. 7 are from North Africa. Now, can I tell you the clubs that are from the north? Let's start. RS Berkane of Morocco, Pyramids of Egypt, CS Sfaxien Tunisia, Al Masri Egypt, JS Saoura Algeria, Al Ahly Tripoli and Al Ittihad, both clubs from Libya. So those are 7 on the north. And then if you have to add one more to make it 50-50, create that fair balance, the best team from Sub-Saharan Africa playing in the CAF Confederations Cup, TP Mazembe of their Congo. So if you were to ask me who is most likely to win the CAF Confederations Cup, then one of the teams from the north who might reach the final, and also TP Mazembe. So I expect TP Mazembe to reach the final, and one of these teams from the north. And then if you look at the other side, in the CAF Champions League, 8 teams being from the north, I see 2 things. Either you're going to see both teams from the north being in the final, or you're going to see one from the north versus one from Sub-Saharan Africa. Now, which is the best team from Sub-Saharan Africa? Mamelodi Sundowns. So 2 outcomes I predict. Either I see both North African clubs in the final, or I see TP Mazembe and a North African club in the CAF Champions League final. So that's my take, my predictions, and what is happening in African club football. So if you're a fan of the CAF Champions League, a fan of the CAF Confederations Cup, then tune in and watch those games happening this weekend as they kick off officially as competitions proper for this season. And whatever happens along the way in terms of the future of the African Super League concept. You just have to wait and see as it develops, as they go through 2 more meetings in the space of 4 months, according to CAF. But right there and then, that's it. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for listening to me in whatever platform you're in. Thank you wherever you are around the world, whatever time zone, whether it is day, afternoon or evening. So long as you have been a part of me from the beginning of this podcast, thank you so much. And as soon as the video ends right now, I'll post at the social media links and also the platforms where you can get this podcast either as a video or as an audio, so that you can be able to download and share it with others to have a discussion and see where this thing moves on. And also, if you want to be a part of the family of this podcast network, my podcast network, by the way, is called the Soul Podcast Network. Soul in capital letters representing my full names, that is Solomon Okuku Afua. So I shorten it to Soul, and you all know very well Soul is an English word for planting. So I hope that as I plant content into those platforms, that I hope that you repeat and you reproduce more. So that's the vision for this podcast network that I've just started today. But otherwise, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for watching me, and I can't wait to hear your reactions, your contributions, and your comments and suggestions on how to move forward with this podcast. But right now, I got to sign off and be blessed.